Welcome to How to Run an Outdoor Dog Show. Now, you may have some questions. You might think, isn't it complicated? Maybe you've never ran one before. Doesn't it take months to organise one? And don't you need a big team or committee? Well, I'm going to show you that it isn't complicated. It doesn't matter if you've never ran one before. It doesn't take months to organise, and you don't need a big team or committee. Now, there are two types of dog show. The first one is a fun dog show, sometimes known as a novelty dog show. The second is a companion dog show. If you've never run a dog show before, start with a fun novelty dog show. Now, the date. It needs to be a Saturday, Sunday, or bank holiday. It doesn't really matter which you choose. However, I would never ever run a dog show during the week. So what month is best? Now, if you're running an outdoor dog show, it does need to be in the summer. So you need to think about, sort of May, June, July, August, possibly September. But what you need to do is check when other shows are and big events are on, so you don't hold them at the same time. For example, if a show has been running for many years and it's always, Sunday, say 12th of August, around that sort of time, don't do one on that day, because you're a new dog show, no one's heard of you, and they're all going to go to the other one because they would have planned it from the following year. However, if that show, for example, is on a Sunday, you can do it on the Saturday. People will come out on a Saturday or Sunday, or you can just leave it for the following week. But definitely make sure if there's any big events, doesn't matter even if they're not dog shows, any big events that are happening, make sure that your dog show is going to be on a different date to them. Now, the venue. You will need to hold your dog show, as I said, in the summer, because nobody is going to be standing in a field full of snow. Now, the venue must-haves. They must have parking. So, for example, if you've got parking where you can park right next to the field, that's excellent. Maybe it's a field where you need to go down a very short walk, maybe 1-2 minute walk into the field, and it's street parking. That is absolutely fine. What you don't want to do is have parking where it's 10-15 minutes away from the dog show, because people won't come. A lot of people that do go to dog shows have multiple dogs. They like to make a day of it. They might bring some chairs. They might have a picnic. Maybe they're elderly and they can't walk. So parking is, the closer you can get parking to your venue, the better. Now, toilets. You will need toilets, and it depends on where you're having your show. So if it's in a park, for example, and maybe there's a pub nearby, literally just across the road, and they will allow dogs, for example, or at least dogs nearby, you could ask them, we're running a dog show, we can advertise you, can we use your toilets? Or maybe it's in a place where there is a block of toilets, for example. Maybe it's like a community centre and they've got a big field and you're renting the whole thing. So you're renting the community centre and the field as well. So make sure that there is toilets. Now, you don't really need to go and get portaloos, because again, with the parking, it needs to be all together. So I definitely wouldn't get portaloos. I would just go for somewhere that has a nice indoor place with toilets and a field outside. And you will, of course, need permission to do this. Now, you can't just pick a field anywhere and say, yep, I'm going to hold a dog show there, because you won't be allowed to do it. So you will need to find permission. The best way to do it is see where other people have been holding their dog shows, or dogs are allowed, or events are allowed. And then you can contact them and say, I'm looking to do a dog show. Would that be okay? So please don't just pick a field and say, yep, that's perfect, I'll do a dog show there, because you won't be allowed to do it. Now, of course, you're going to need a judge and a steward. Now, the judge, ask around, advertise, look for judges maybe from other dog shows. You'll need someone who knows what they're doing. They don't have to be an expert. You're not looking for someone, you know, who's judged at Crufts. It's not that type of dog show. However, you need someone organized, someone who's at least not frightened of dogs. Because I have been to a few dog shows where they have been, believe it or not. So yeah, ask around. Yeah, advertise for one, and yeah, just see what other judges from other dog shows that you've come across. You can have a look on Facebook, of course. Now, don't pay for a judge, but you will need to buy them a present. Okay, so this is only a fun dog show, so you don't pay for them. Okay, however, you do need to buy them. Something like a bottle of wine, bunch of flowers, something like that. Okay, this would normally be done at the end. So once they've finished judging, normally you, possibly yourself, would walk into a ring and say, thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Can we have a round of applause, please, for the judge? They've been absolutely fantastic today. And then you hand them a bottle of wine or a bunch of flowers, something like that. Steward. You can ask the judge. Sometimes people like to come together. For example, there might be a judge and they say, yeah, my friend will steward. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Or you could just ask your friend to do it. And the same sort of thing again, really, to be honest. Just get them a little something and thank them for it. Again, you don't need to pay for a steward. Now, the roles of a steward. They will call out the classes. They get the rosettes ready for the judge. They tell people where to stand in the ring. They take payments in the ring unless they've paid first. And anything else the judge needs. So, for example, the class is about to start and you're starting with class 1, say, cutest puppy. The steward would walk into the ring and they'd say, class 1, cutest puppy, please. Class 1, cutest puppy. And people would enter the ring. Now, while the judge is judging and looking at the dogs, you have a look and you think to yourself, okay, so say, for example, you've ordered rosettes and they come first to third. You have a look in the ring and you say, are there 3 people or more? Yes, there are. Okay, so I'm going to need first to third. Maybe you look in the ring and you think, no, there's only 2 people in this class, so you'll only need first to second, but you get them ready. The steward is watching the judge the whole time. Once the judge has finished judging everybody, the judge would normally turn to the steward, sort of nod as if to say, yep, you can bring the rosettes over, and the judge will hand them out. The reason why stewards need to tell people where to stand in the ring is because people often squash together. Sometimes they'll walk into the ring and they'll all stand right near the entrance. So you need to say, what the steward will need to say, can you move down, please? Thank you. Yep, plenty of room. Yep, keep moving down. Because if not, that's what can happen. And sometimes people will think, oh, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Everyone's standing there. I'll just copy them. So you need someone really to sort of take charge and just let people know there's lots of space. Some dogs need a lot of space, and that's absolutely fine. We don't want to squash people together. Now, if you're going to take payment in the ring, what the steward would do is they'd call out the class. Everyone would enter the ring. The steward would say, yep, move over. So they're all not bunched together. Then the steward would then walk around and take payment. So for example, say it's £1 a class, the steward would just go up to each person and say, yep, £1 please. Yep, there you go. Thank you very much. You might need a bit of change for this, but after a couple of classes, you'll have enough change. If, for example, someone enters the ring as you're doing this and you haven't called them out yet, just trying to keep an eye and then look over and say, oh, sorry, have you paid yet? Most people are honest. And what they'll do is they'll walk into the ring and say, excuse me, I haven't paid yet. So the steward will take the money. Once they've taken the money off everyone, is any more entries for this class? No? Okay, fine. They will step to one side and then the judge obviously will take over. Anything else that the judge needs? Now, what I mean by this is sometimes they might say, oh, could you get me a bottle of water? I'm really thirsty. Or could you get me a baby wipe, you know, something like that? Or could you get me a tissue? Or could you just tell them people over there to, you know, to move over? That sort of thing, whatever the judge needs. Now, in my next video, we're going to go through the next part of how to run an outdoor dog show.